Hi, welcome to another episode of Fun with Rocks. Today we're going to be discussing azurite, malachite, Shattukite, Chrysocolla, and turquoise. Researching these rocks definitely gave me a run for my money. There's a lot of misinformation out there, and it's really hard to find gemological facts right now and geological facts. I came across something called quantum quattro as well, which really, it's not a rock, but it's something, once again, that has been brought up as a made-up name of a made-up combination. And I also learned that it's really, really good to have one of these little suckers right here. Mine's not a fancy one, and it lights up, but it's a loop to be able to look closely at your rocks. I also learned that malachite and azurite, I'll just bring this back slowly so I don't get you motion sick. So this is azurite, and this is malachite, and I learned they're toxic, so don't lick your rocks. So those of you out there who like to make elixirs and things, be aware that sometimes you're not told things you need to know. So let's start with azurite. Azurite, this is a gem quality. It's a dark blue stone, as you can see. This is a natural occurrence of this stone. Azurite is also grown in this. And with this azurite ball, you can also see the little green flags of malachite. Fascinating, hey? They are found inland together. This is another little azurite marble. Naturally formed, not man-made. Spectacular. These are also naturally forming azurite. They are a soft rock. Then we have them in the combination of azurite and malachite. Fascinating, isn't it? So this is natural occurrence, not dyed. And then, of course, made into jewelry. This above is turquoise. And this is another example of malachite and azurite. And this one was actually hard to figure out what it was because it wasn't sold to me like that. It was sold to me under the name of something different. But after looking at it over and over again, I've rested on that it is most likely azure malachite or azurite and malachite. Malachite forms often like this as well, naturally. Isn't that spectacular? If you put your tongue on it, like I said, but please don't, it's toxic. It feels very thirsty is probably the best way to say it. Like your tongue wants to stick to it. You'll find that azurite can also grow in the botryoidal format with the bubbles. It often has these wonderful designs within it naturally. There are some fake malachites out there on the market right now, but you'll find that their lines are more up and down, and they don't have the same feel. Malachite's actually quite a heavy stone. So, when I came across this, I wasn't sure if it was real or not real. But upon research, I do trust what I bought it as, and it is malachite and Chrysocolla. Chrysocolla has always been one of my favorite rocks. One of my first pieces of Chrysocolla was this little beauty. And this is a spectacular piece. Now I know I can't get you to look through the loop, but if you can see on the ends here, it does have the botryoidal, I still can't say that word, growth formation, and it does have the different colors. When we look really close up, we can see better the different colors of the rocks themselves, because when we look at Shattukite and Chrysocolla, we can find the difference in the stone. This is a magnificent piece of Chrysocolla that was given to me. Some of my nicest pieces were gifts. This is not Shattukite, this is Chrysocolla, and this is not turquoise. Sometimes turquoise is replaced by Chrysocolla. It is because it's easier to find. Now, a lot of these stones I at first thought had blue in them, but looking in the loop, I learned that the blue is more an optical illusion, which is really quite fascinating. And these are all Chrysocolla. Just different growth formations, all natural, not dyed. Some of them very, very, very beautiful. This piece, my little pieces I often pick up as specimens, and I trust their origin more than ever when they're purchased from a geological shop. As you can see, the lower quality has this just average stone and mineral in them. Moving into Shattukite, you can see how similar the Shattukite looks like Chrysocolla, but it's not. It is a totally different mineral. The light blue and the bright blue is indicative of the Shattukite. You can also see, hopefully, how the light blue has striations, and that is indicative of the growth pattern of Shattukite as well. But so is this. This nice specimen is Shattukite. And I picked it up from a source I very much trust. And that's one of the biggest things is when we're buying our specimens and our rocks, we need to find people that we trust, because there's a lot on the market now that isn't what people say it is. And there's a lot of made up names that we want to be careful of. And this is turquoise. So let's just line some of these up here. If we look at this, so turquoise, Shattukite, Chrysocolla, azure malachite, and this one has a lot of azurite and just a touch of malachite. So I'll use that as my example. We can see here how confusion happens easily. But yet, these are different minerals. So I'm hoping that the research I've done will help you understand your minerals more. And understanding that, you know, these formations are all azurite, as well as these being malachite, and knowing that these minerals can combine together and that their growth patterns can be so different between raw and polished, that hopefully you'll be able to find rocks to add to your collection too. I'll put the proper spelling of the names in the title. If you have any questions, you're more than welcome to email me or message me, and I'll do my best. I'm just an amateur rock collector, and thanks for joining me on another episode of Fun with Rocks.